Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Good afternoon. So, kindly greet the person beside you, if you're in front or in the back. Yes. Join me as we come to the Word in this short prayer. Hallelujah. Father, indeed you are magnificent. You are wholesome and wonderful. And we ask right now as we listen to your Word, that our hearts and our whole being continually honor you, exalting you as our God, who's awesome and wonderful. We ask right now that you will speak to us as our loving Father, as we are already pleased as your children. We humble ourselves to you, submitting ourselves totally under the leadership of your Holy Spirit, who is our teacher, our counselor. Let this be a time we can just dwell in the feet of the Lord Jesus Christ and enjoy your word. We love you, Lord, and we are excited to continue to fellowship with you. We thank you and we praise you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Praise the Lord. There was a study about leadership, and this study talks about is focused upon the kind of figure of a person that seems to be a possible good and effective leader. Mr. John Bryan, who's actually the director of a particular magazine, thought that a pear-shaped headed men are those most likely to be the world's leaders. Yun yung kanilang findings, yung kanyang natuklasan. Yun daw pong mga lalaki at babae na hugis ng kanilang ulo ay pear-shaped. Para daw burgan di bottom ay seemingly one of the candidates for potential excellent leaders. Pear-shape is just like yung mga pears natin na kinakain. So, yun ang findings nila. And they suggest that a person's shape could well be taken into account even when they are applying for job. Yan. Tinitignan na rin daw po yan pag nag-a-apply ng trabaho. Kung yung ulo mo, hugis na mukha mo yung pear-shape. Pakitignan yung katabi niya mo, pasabi yan. And you know what? They have a good basis because some of the men who really led as good leaders, that's like the British Prime Minister Harold Wilson, Napoleon Bonaparte, and General de Gaulle were all pear-shaped headed men. Parang talagang mga ano sila. So they thought this is really a good consideration for in choosing good employees and even excellent leaders. Now, may I ask, ilan na po ang bumoto sa atin? Pakitaas na po ang kamay. Nakaboto na po kayo. Wow, lumarami na. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Okay? What were the basis of your choice for our next president? Ano ho ang pinili niyo? Of course, yung iba mga pinatataas ng kamay, nakagano na kagad. Let me share to you some of these indispensable qualities that must be present for an excellent leader, for any leader. Ano yung katangian na hindi pwedeng mawala for a person to be an effective and excellent leader? Okay? Other qualities may be gone, but these qualities that we're going to discuss this afternoon are indispensable Ibig sabihin, necessary, it's a must, at hindi pwedeng mawala for any person who wants to lead. Okay? So we're going to discuss about the indispensable qualities of a leader. So as we can continue on guiding each one, especially for those who have not yet voted, and for those na gusto na i-guide yung walang family in voting. Again, as I promised, this church is always non-partisan and we do not promote any candidate, but it's our responsibility to just guide and give you the guidelines of the qualities that must be necessary that will help us in choosing our next leader. So, I entitled God's message this afternoon as the leader after God's own heart. The leader after God's own heart. And our passage is found in Psalm chapter 78, verse 70 to 72. May I request everyone to please rise, and we're going to read it all together because since this is just 3 verses. Okay? Psalm 78, 70 to 72. Okay, we have to read this with conviction and by faith. Pakisabi sa katabi mo, pakilakas mo kapatid. Okay. Let's read this all together. Ready? Begin. He chose David his servant and took him from the sheeppens. From the tending the sheep, he brought him to the shepherd of his people Jacob, of Israel his inheritance. And David shepherded them with integrity of heart, with skillful hands he led them. Praise be to the reading of His word. We may all be seated, please. So short verses, and yet very profound when it comes to the qualities of an indispensable leader. Okay? Or yung indispensable qualities of a leader. Now let me give you a short background that David is the king of Israel, who is biblically and historically the model of all kings for the nation of Israel. Kung merong kinikilalang Israel na hari, na modelo sa mga nakalipas na hari at sa mga darating pang hari, it was none other than King David. His leadership praise serves as a measuring stick. It is the yardstick for any national leaders that the nation of Israel would have, or a king. When he's gone, Israel was actually longing that a king like him would emerge and save their nation. Until now, they were longing for that kind of king which is like David. That's why they are until now anticipating for the coming king or Messiah that would save them, whom they knew and recognized as the son of David. Ang pangalan ng darating na hari at tagapagligtas na magliligtas sa bayan ng Israel ay nandun sa phrase o katagang the son of David o anak ni David. Why? He has to come in the lineage of the kingship of David. That's why David is actually the standards by which all the kings and leadership of Israel is measured. Now, Jesus Christ, and because of this, Jesus Christ was known to be the King of the Jews and the Son of David. So let us now see the true characteristics of David, the indispensable qualities para sa isang leader that can guide us in our choice of a leader. The first thing that we'll find for an indispensable qualities of a leader is that a leader, an excellent leader, must have a heart's integrity. A heart's integrity. Okay? The heart is the seat of our emotions, our will, and our thoughts. It is actually the one that determines our action. That's why Proverbs tells us, guard your heart, for out of it flows wellspring of life. Pinababantayan sa atin na isang taong matalino ang ating puso, sapagkat dito daw nagmumula ang ating pamumuhay, yung ating pag-iisip, at ang kabuuan ng ating pagkatao. Now, when King Samuel disobeyed when King Saul, Samuel was asked by the Lord to look for the replacement of King Saul. Alam na mo natin yung istorya, di ba? He was asked to go to a family with several kids because from there, God is going to choose the next leader of Israel. So, pinapunta si Samuel doon sa tahanan ni Jesse. And we know the story, especially of those who are attending our Friday school, the kids, and if you have been studying this for several times, Samuel went to the family or to the man named Jesse. And one by one, he was asking, where are your children? And Jesse would bring out his children, yung kanyang mga anak, matitipuno, all of them, isa-isa muna, okay, one by one, and Samuel will look at those sons. Marami siyang pinagtinginan. And of course, what would Jesse do is that he's going to first bring out yung iniisip niyang pinakamakisig. Diba? Yung mukha talaga magiging leader ng bayan ng Israel. So, nag-umpisa siya doon sa mga medyo panganay, doon sa matitipuno. But after a while, walang napili si Samuel. Di ba? And he asked Jesse, are these all your sons? Ito lang ba yung mga anak mo? So sabi ni Jesse, no, I still have one, but he's out there shepherding the sheep. And seemingly, in the mind of Jesse, and he's just hinting that maybe he's not qualified. So Samuel asked, come, bring him to me. At nung pinakita ni Samuel ang isang bata, young at that particular time, it was none other than David. And when Samuel saw David, immediately God spoke to Samuel and said these words, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at the things man look at. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Huwag mo tignan yung kanyang anyo, yung kanyang laki, sapagkat ang Panginoon ay tumitingin sa kaibuturan ng kanyang puso. And so, David was chosen and anointed to be the next king of Israel. It's amazing that in this story, we are taught not so much that David was actually the youngest, but that God examines the heart at such an early age. Alam ng Panginoon yung laman ng puso ni David kahit bata pa siya. And he was actually watching the heart of David as a potential leader, and he sees whether there's an integrity inside that heart. That's why he told Samuel about these words. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Ladies and gentlemen, integrity comes from the word in Hebrew, which means sincerity, completeness, wholeness, and consistency. A person with integrity is consistent in his words and actions and therefore sincere. Integrity of heart is vital to anyone who will serve the Lord. Napakahalaga po niyan at yan ang unang tinitignan ng Panginoon, yung puso natin. Ang unang hinahanap sa sino mang nais maglingkod sa Kanya ay yung kanyang puso. It all starts there, whether there's an integrity. Why? Because God is always ready to mold a person if that person's heart is geared towards Him and obeying Him. In fact, there's a saying, God is more interested in the quality of your heart than the quality of your music. You may be talented, you may have that wonderful voice, but God is more concerned in the heart that sings rather than your voice and your skills. It is critical for any aspiring leaders to have integrity of heart. Dwight Eisenhower, another president, says, in order to be a leader, man must have followers, and to have followers, a man must have their trust. A follower's trust is gained by the leader's integrity. Diba? Walang leader kapag walang sumusunod. At sumusunod lang tao by virtue of their trust in that leader. And for that to be followed and obeyed, that leader should have an integrity. That's why even the wisest man on earth, King Solomon, advises with this, a good name is better than precious perfume. Ang mabuting pangalan o magandang pangalan ay mas mainam kaysa magandang pabango. Bakit? It's because people will always consider our lives rather than the things that we are wearing and the things na ginagamit natin para tayo maging maganda sa paningin ng iba. Our integrity matters especially when it comes to leadership. I have seen many talented men, young men and women, but their attitude that led to a negative integrity hinders them to serve effectively. Marami pong tao napakatalentado, napakarunong, napakagaling. But again, in leadership, it is not first the skill. It is first the integrity that is being observed. Our lives. And if we have that bad attitude, it hinders us to effectively serve the Lord. And sometimes, it's very disastrous in a group. Bad attitude corrupts company. It's just like a rotten apple. Merong isang bulok na mansanas. Isama mo sa mga mansanas na maayos, in just few hours or few days, you'll find that the other apples will also be rotten. Why? Because it corrupts kapag ito'y nabubulok. That's why John Maxwell compared a bad attitude to a rotten apple. Kapag pangit ang ugali, nakaka-apekto yan at nakakasira sa iba. Di ba? If you are in a group, tapos merong isa na hindi maganda yung ugali, everybody's dismayed and disgusted. Instead of working together, what happens is that they do not want to participate and they do not want to get involved because somebody has a bad attitude. I've seen many Christians, even Christians, have not overcome their attitude. That's why they have failed to show an integrity that is a must for them to lead. What are those attitudes that is very evident? Some people are so talented and yet so moody. May mga tao na panggaling and yet pabago-bago ng timpla ng alang emotion. Have you seen that? I have one leader I've worked with. Napakagaling niya. I really admire this person. That's why I work with him. But when after knowing him, I realized that he has this temperament that constantly changes. Mamaya okay siya, mamaya may sumpong. May na siya. Hindi mo alam. Kaya pala yung mga kasama namin, pag nakatahimik na sila, dahil may sumbong pala yung aming kasama. Kaya mag-ingat kayo sa mga BS. Pakita mo na yung katabi mo, BS ka ba kapatid? Sumbungin ka ba? You see, being moody sometimes hinders us to really lead others. Some attitudes, but attitudes are, some people are so critical and fault-finder. Mas madali nilang makita yung mga negatibong bagay. Why? There's a room for that. There's a room to criticize, but if that is your way, and many times, it is obviously too much. Therefore, be careful, because sometimes it's already removing your capacity to lead and hinders you from being an effective leader. Now, also some attitudes. May attitude na all-knowing and so, sabihin natin, so intelligent. Yan. Dito, ladies, I don't know if you notice the men whenever they fellowship together in a long table. Whenever they talk, as if everyone wants to say his piece and know what he knows and say what he knows. Walang minsan, ayaw magpatalo yung isa. Kasi alam nung isa. Mas magaling siya, mas marami siya alam. Ladies and gentlemen, just observe in a group. If you are that kind of person that perceived to be all-knowing, chances are the people around you will not approach you and will shun away. Why? Sometimes they don't need your intelligence. What they need is the fellowship, your understanding, the bonding, that you're there in times of need. Sometimes you don't have to speak. There's always a time for that. I'm not saying dapat wala kang alam. No, you should know something and you should grow in the Word. But if people are perceiving you na para bang ang hirap kasi marami siyang alam at baka mamaya when I'm exposed and my vulnerabilities are exposed to Him, I will be immediately scolded and declared, sabi sa John chapter 4, verse 6. Bigla ka pang puputan ng salita ng Diyos. No, sometimes we have to show care first before we correct people. That's why John Maxwell is again very, very good in this. When he says, in dealing with people and dealing with others, use your heart. But in dealing with yourself, use your head. Tama mo siya. In dealing with yourself, para wag magbago ka at wag mong konsintihin yung iyong pagkakamali, use your mind. But in dealing with others, use your heart. In that sense, you will not easily judge other people and be negative about the negative things about them. Because we have to be an encourager to others. Again, some more attitudes, there's a tendency for us to be man-pleasers. We try to please a lot of people that we tend to forget that there are times that we have to stand on the principle that is guided by the Word of God. Sometimes may mga tao na dahil gusto niya talagang lahat natutuwa sa kanya, kahit na mali yung kanyang ginagawa, he's quiet and is not saying anything. Mga kapatid, if you are going to ask or to be asked by the Word para gamitin niya, you have to know where to stand in the truth and declare your position. Hindi pa pwedeng lahat natutuwa. There are times that you'll incur even conflict or enemies, but it's good as long as you stand in the truth of the Word of God. Pero pag lahat naman kaaway mo, mag-isip-isip ka naman. Di ba? Pero pag lahat naman kapatid, pag wala ka na nakakaaway, nag-iisip ka rin. Mukhang pinipis ko ng lahat ng tao. Wala na akong tinatayuan. Be careful. There's a time for that. But we should be careful not to be man-pleaser when we are leaders for the Lord. Because definitely, if you're standing for something, there will be people who will not like you. But it's okay. As long as you're right and you know that you're right before the Lord. There are people who are double-minded. This is the kind of attitude that we would like to sometimes just disregard. But this is true. Ang sabi po ni James, very familiar. Let's read this all together. Please, ready? Begin. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Ang taong pabago-bago ng isip, hindi siya focus. Okay? Hindi niya alam kung saan siya magtatayo. Hindi niya alam kung saan siya pupunta. Hindi niya alam kung sino niya susundan niya. He's double-minded. Ano nang effect? Anong sinasabing consequence? He is unstable in all his ways. Ang mabigat na salita dyan mga kapatid, wala kang aasahan sa taong pabago-bago ng isip. Hello? Amen po ba? Tingnan ako sa mga katabi mo. Magandang ikaw ba yun, kapatid? Okay? A double-minded person, is unstable in all his ways. That's why there are people who are so talented, who are so gifted, but why they can't lead? Bakit hindi nila kayang pangunahan ng iba? Because they cannot give the full commitment that is necessary whenever they lead. Hindi sila makapagbigay ng commitment kasi nga double-minded. Meron silang sinasalang-alang na laging tinitignan. You cannot move on. Hindi ka makapanguna ng maayos if you're double-minded. You have to be focused. And sometimes people as no loyalty is also under this category. They are double-minded. Double-minded. A bad attitude is like a flat tire. You can't go anywhere until you change it. Ulitin ko lang po mga kapatid. Ang maling attitude, bad attitude, Parang flat na gulong yan. Unless palitan mo, hindi ka makakausap, makaka-move on. That's why I really regret that there are people who are so talented, but they cannot attain the fullness that God wants them to experience because they have this attitude. They cannot fully commit themselves to that one purpose that God has designed them to do and to accomplish. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a leader and God is molding you to a leadership, there should be a full commitment. There should be a good and proper attitude towards these things. Now, David's integrity as a man after God's own heart, or being a man after God's own heart, was explained by Paul. Ano ba ibig sabihin when God described David as a man after God's own heart? In Acts chapter 13, verse 22, it says, I have found David, son of Jesse, a man after my own heart. And he explained this, because he will do everything I want him to do. Gagawin niya ang bagay na pinagagawa ko sa kanya. So meaning, Paul explained that David is a man after God's own heart. The reason why he's a man after God's own heart, because David is fully committed to pursue the will of God, no matter what. He is committed to that. Kahit ano pa sabihin ng ibang tao, kahit ano mangyari, he is committed in fulfilling and doing the will of God. Now, being a man after God's own heart doesn't mean flawlessness. Hindi mo ibig sabihin na si David ay malapit sa puso ng Diyos, ay perfectong tao. Alam natin kung gaano po kabigat ang kasalanan ni David, mga kapatid. And I think none of us may have really committed the same sin you see. And yet, why David was called to be a man after God's own heart? Simply because, in spite of his weakness, in spite of his flaws in life, yet his heart remained to be steadfast and committed in doing the will of God. Kahit nagkamali siya, hindi pa rin nagbabago yung puso niya, Lord, I want to fulfill your will. I want to accomplish your will. This is the heart of David. That's why David is really the guy who's an idol for many leaders and for many Jews even now. They're waiting for his son to take the throne and lead the nation. Why? Because David is the man who's committed to fulfill the will of God. Mga kapatid, if there's somebody na gagamitin ng Panginoon, we should be ready to obey and fulfill His will, regardless of what people and what will transpire in our circumstances that we're going to face. One time I shared to you a guy whom I worked with, a very wealthy guy in the Philippines. And let me again remind you of this man. His name is none other than Mr. William King. Alright? Mr. William King. Mr. William King in the late 80s and 90s was actually operating the Anito and Wise hotels. Alam na po natin yan. No? And another also is what we call as the Victoria Court. Yeah. But this was given to his brother Archie. I worked with this guy. I was once his full-time pastor. I am the first which he assigned in a marketplace. Build, operating, transfer, privatizing it. And I know this guy. He's so wealthy, he's so kind. Napakabait ng tao niya. And yet, when he was leading this business, he actually inherited that to his father, Angelo King, known to be in the Philippines as the Hotel King. Siya po yung nagtayo ng lahat ng hotel niya at pinamana niya dito sa kanyang mga anak. During his time, daily, this guy will earn 2 million pesos a day through the hotels. 2 million pesos a day. Okay? And that is $43,000 in gross income na meron siya. Because at that particular time that I was working with him, he has already 15 branches all over Metro Manila. Anito Hotel, Vice Hotel. So, kung ako'y nakita niyo minsan sa hotel na yun, ay hindi ko kayo magtataka. Because I'm working with this guy. Okay? Now, in his younger years, this guy is actually has a exciting lifestyle. Explored different beliefs from New Age to Zen Buddhism, and among others, marami pa ho siyang ginawang spiritual practices, which are Eastern at talagang kakaiba. He also had various extramarital affairs na inaitago niya sa kanyang asawa. Okay, this guy, because of yung kanyang father, he followed the footsteps. But in early 1986, there was actually a prodding of the Holy Spirit for this guy to surrender his life. But it took another 6 years before this man prayed the prayer of acceptance. He accepted the Lord Jesus Christ in his life and became a full-fledged, born-again Christian. With this came a lot of changes in his life. Nag-umpisa ho siya mag-ayos ng kanyang buhay, iniwan niya na yung kanyang mga ka-affair, at naging one-man woman siya. But more so, he has to deal with his business, with his unrighteous business, which enabled him to dominate nung time na yon sa Metro Manila. Siya po yung pinaka-dominating hotel business in Metro Manila during our time. Sabi niya nga, I used to bribe a lot of local government officials so that they can either promote our business or turn a blind eye every time we fail to pay our taxes on time. So he goes through the natural process of corruption para lang po ma-promote yung kanyang business, which he really succeeded. Pero nag-umpisang magbago. He ended everything, and by 1994, God impressed to him that he should have leave the motel business for good. It was not that easy. Hindi ko madali talaga. No, I couldn't, sabi niya, again, I couldn't say that I wasn't accountable for what was going inside the premises because the hotel itself was designed to promote illicit affairs, may be marital or premarital. So aware po siya na is really an accessory on that. So came po that business for sale in 1996. Binibenta niya na in 1996. Siguro maraming mga offers sa kanya, but he was not happy for the price, and so the sale did not push through. King also became concerned about the livelihood ng kanyang employees at that particular time, which is more than 3,000 people. Yung kanyang mga employees. So in 1998, nag-umpisa po siya to act on things slowly to close one by one the hotels. He started closing the Anito Hotel, okay, in Pasay. Whenever he closes the hotel, what he did is that he's going to post this tarpaulin in front that says, sabi niya, it's hard to uphold righteousness in business, especially when unrighteous practices are the norm. Tama nga naman, di ba? So pag sinasara niya, itong nakalagay, Anito Hotel closed for the glory of God. It took some time for all those hotels to be closed. And he has to put tarpaulins to declare that it is for the glory of God. Between 1998 to 2008, he turned 7 of his former Anito Hotel buildings into wholesale family-oriented hotels. Binago niya na. Dahil hindi niya nga maibenta, dahil lugi ang bili. Binago niya yung hotels. And he transitioned it and changed it in 3 kabayan hotels, 1 Mabuhay Manor Hotel, which targets OFWs and their families, 1 Pinoy Pamilya Hotel for provincial business travelers, and the known Legend Hotel for corporate and upscale clientele, and 1 Park Bed and Breakfast which targets motorists. Ito po yan. This is one of the hotels, the Legend Hotel, where just in the reception hall, there's already a verse that you can read. Another thing, he has prayer rooms in the hotels that you can go to if you want to pray. Another one, they have conference. Okay, I need some pictures. He has conferences rooms where people, even church people, can go to and conduct worship services. That is being done in all the kabayan hotels. He did it slowly, although it was not easy. Aside from hotel chains, now King, that guy, owns dormitories in Loyola Heights, where university students are being accommodated. Laundry service. Nakapunta po ko dito doon sa kalinisan sa Laguna. And these are big laundry machines. They're catering for the new jeans. Pinaprocess po yan. Nililinis bago ibenta sa mga malls. Right? Marami siyang businesses ngayon. But he had seen how it is really to serve and pursue the will of God in spite of the quote-unquote fears of losing the business. But in doing so, he realized that God blessed him moreover. Kaya sabi niya, it took a long time, but I knew I had to do it. I committed myself to pursue the will of God in my life. At nangyari po. Bakit? It's not easy. I don't know. Are you willing to lose millions just to show to God that you're serious in your faith? This guy took the step. Because there's a saying in 2 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 9. The eyes of the Lord search the whole earth in order to strengthen those whose hearts are fully committed to Him. Mga kapatid, sometimes nakakatakot para sa iba, kahit mga Kristyano, na gawin ang kalooban ng Diyos sapagkat alam nila, merong kabayaran. Kaya mo bang iwan yung napaka-cute mong boyfriend? Pero alam mo namang hindi siya sa Lord. There's always a price to pay. Di ba? Pero malinaw sabi ng talata, the Lord is committed to strengthen those whose hearts are fully committed to Him. Palalakasin ka ng Panginoon, bibigyan ka niya katatagan at tapang na sumunod sa Kanyang kalooban. Amen po ba? This guy had really experienced that. That's why right now, God is still prospering him. And now he's serving as one of the pastors in Pasay in his own business compound. Ladies and gentlemen, it is always good to pursue the will of God. God looks at your heart. Are you willing to fulfill His will? Regardless of the price. For you to be a leader and for you to follow God, you have to have a heart with integrity, and that is the readiness to pursue God's will. Hindi mo naghahanap ng mga tao na extraordinary. No? He's just looking for simple people whose hearts are geared towards Him, to obey Him, to pursue His will. That's why he saw David as a young man, yet his heart is fully committed to God, to do His will. That's why the first basis, again, for a leader to be used by the Lord effectively and excellently is to have our heart's integrity. Pakitanong kapatid mo, kumusta na ba ang puso mo, kapatid? Kumusta na ba ang puso mo? When the Lord looks at your heart, can He see an integrity there? Meron bang integridad sa iyong puso? The second qualities that are actually indispensable for a leader is that he must have a hand or hands that are skillful. Hands that are skillful. Sabi doon, David shepherded them with integrity of our heart. With skillful hands, he led them. Hands that are skillful, meaning it is a competent skill or capacity. It talks about our competency in this area na kung saan dapat may kakayanan tayo. Hindi lang po sinabi na si David na una na maayos yung kanyang puso. Sinabi rin that David is competent. He has a skillful hands. Kaya ni David, may kakayanan siya. He is skillful. Hindi lang kaya, talagang bihasa. Okay? Paano natin makikita? Let me share to you some truths about this David being competent leader. First, you can see it in his humble profession. Okay? You can see it in his humble profession. Being a shepherd, as a young boy, dahil siya ang pinakabata, siya ang tagapag-alaga ng tupa. Now, for many of us here, shepherding may seems to be a good job, but not to them. Because shepherds in the time of Israel is one of the humblest work and profession. Why? Because they stay outside of their house not just one day, several weeks, and even months just to take care of the sheep. Lagi silang nasa labas, laging marumi. That's why shepherds are not allowed to mingle in the city with people. They are considered to be unclean in their community. Kaya hindi ko basta madaling trabaho ni David, mga kapatid. It was a hard task. Mahirap po yung trabaho niya. And yet, this humble profession led David and trained David to be a hard worker. Dahil nga mahirap yung trabaho niya, sanay na si David sa mahirap na trabaho. Secondly, okay, it led David to be, and trained David to be a heroic warrior. Naging mandirigma siya. Paano naging mandirigma si David? Look at 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 34 to 37. It will show you paano siya naging magaling na mandirigma as a warrior. But David said to Saul, your servant, this passage is the time when David was chosen to fight Goliath. Nagulat si Saul, kasi ang liit ni David. How come you will fight this giant? Sabi ni David, your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. Can you imagine? Mga kapatid, it was literally, whenever there's a lion, okay, that will attack his sheep, na kanyang kinakalingat, he's going to grab the lion. Sabi dyan, malinaw. He's going after the lion, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. Mano-mano yung laban. Paano nangyari? Okay? When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it, and killed it. Well, lumalaban pa. Lalaban ka pa. Sasabunutan ni David. Papaluin niya, papatay niya. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them because he has defied the armies of the living God. The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will deliver me from the hand of the Philistines. Now you understand why David was not afraid with Goliath. Because by hand, he kills a lion and a bear. When did it happen? While he was still a young shepherd. It was his training to be a heroic warrior. Thirdly, as a shepherd, David was trained to be a heartfelt worshiper. Doon din po, naging isang magaling na worshiper ng Panginoon si David. Wilderness became heaven to David. You know why? Because even outside and alone in the wilderness, he sings and worships the Lord personally and develops an intimacy with his God in a very personal way. That's why when David was asked, Saul is suffering from some, psychologists would say, delusions. But the Bible was very clear that Saul was being demonized. And David is often asked to play for Saul so that Saul can be healed. And 1 Samuel again will declare to us, whenever the Spirit of God, from God, came upon Saul, David would take his harp and play. Then relief would come to Saul, he would feel better, and this evil spirit would leave him. Mga kapatid, kapag tumugtog si Saul o si Spirit ng David, nakakalaya si Saul mula sa mga espiritu na nandidemonyo sa kanya at nagpapahirap sa kanya. How? Because the kind of worship that David had is really a powerful one. There's power in worship, in his praises. It is the playing of the instruments. It was a sincere communion with his God. Mga kapatid, this is how David worships the Lord. That's why you can imagine that the longest portion of the Bible, the book of Psalms, many of that was written by David. It talks about the Word of God. It talks about his worship to a living God. Because David had really experienced it personally while he was alone in the wilderness. Kaya nga mga kapatid, I always say this to our worshipers. One of the challenges is that whenever we play music and sing songs, are people ushered into the presence of God and experience His freedom in the time of worship. Kasi pag